Maybe we're, yay, there we go. Hello, hello, everybody. Good to see you guys. Welcome to SoulPet, our live stream this week where we are going to be talking about reincarnation. All right, let's make sure, as always, you guys, a little heads up over here. Just give me that over there. Give me hearts. Let me know that you can see and hear this. Okay. Sherry Piper. Okay, we'll get to the comments in just a minute. All right, let's get started because it looks like we're good. And of course, if anything comes up with the internet, I just refreshed. Don't you guys go anywhere. I'll say hello to everybody in just a moment. For those of you who I may be introduced to for the very first time, my name is Elaine. I'm the Animal Reiki Lady, and I'm an Animal Reiki Master and an Animal Chaplain. And this channel started as a way to support people who have been through the transition of their animal companion, who've been through pet loss. And now it has turned into a beautiful community, like an amazing community of people that support each other. And we've all experienced our animals transitioning to the other side. So hopefully we share lots of messages. We go live every Monday. I did post a video today that was not live. I was just called to do it after a couple of questions came up from a couple of you guys. Somebody who I know will not be able to watch until the replay, but that's cool. Diana, I can't remember. But it's about reincarnation, and it really got me excited about tonight's topic. So we cover here lots of messages of hope, messages of healing. I talk about practical ways and emotional and spiritual ways that we can help our heart heal after the loss of an animal companion, after the loss of an animal soulmate, soul pet. And we also dive deep into the woo. So we get into a lot of the metaphysical, spiritual things. And I like to have this beautiful blend, a beautiful blend of reality as we know it, metaphysical things, some scientific things. I like to put them all together so that we can figure out really how not only to get through this, but how to come out even better on the other side. And if you happen to be going through grief right now, wherever you happen to be on your journey, know that there is a group of people here, you can read it in the comments, that will embrace you virtually with open arms and be here to support you if you need it. All right, so I see people jumping on, and if you are watching this on the replay, give it 5 minutes or so. You can always scroll ahead. I like to do introductions. I like to say hello to all of my channel members. I'll call you out by name in just a minute. And I also like to look at a couple quick comments. And then we had a couple questions come up. Pat, as always, gives me some thought-provoking questions. And we'll start to talk a little bit about those first and then tie them directly into reincarnation. Now, last week on the live stream, I mentioned that tonight might be about dream work, but that's going to be next week because I am teaching the psychic development class, the Animal Mystics, on Saturday morning, and we are going to dive deep into dream work. So I'm going to take a couple of those exercises and try to build them out for our live stream next Monday. But tonight is all about reincarnation, inspired by you guys, as always. Okay, some housekeeping for those of you who are members before I say hello. So official channel members, it's a super affordable thing to do. I keep it really it can get a little bit lower, but not much lower. I try to keep it at a super affordable price. It's meant to support this channel, and it is meant to help me support others who are going through grief. And because what I do is support people not just through readings. The readings are just a small little part. As an animal chaplain, I help people pre-plan. I help people work through all of the details so that when it's time for their animal to companion to cross, or even if it's unexpected, that they are in a space where they can be the most present for their animal companion during that transition time. So I do thank all of my channel members right off the top. Love you guys. And our Zoom call for March, I have it scheduled for 10 a.m. Sunday, March 30th. So I'm working around a wonky schedule. I'll tell you guys in a minute where I'm going tomorrow. So it's a Zoom gathering for members only. I create a little post. The link will be in the post. It's not going to be till later this week, 10 a.m. Sunday. Did I say May? March 30th. I even wrote May down here in my notes. Wishful thinking. Okay, what else do I want to go with? Oh, where I'm going to be. So I am headed to Denver. Colorado is it's my spiritual home. That is my soul home, if there's such a place. That's the place that I love more than anything. And my Gypsy and I are going on a solo road trip. Our first solo road trip. We are going back to Denver, and I'll give you some behind the scenes videos there for how I've got my whole little setup going on. And my goal is, this is just like a test run. My goal is to be able to travel wherever and whenever I want. And it's to visit animal sanctuaries and animal rescues and anything, and to meet as many of you guys as I can in person. I would love to just hang out. So I will be doing some behind the scenes videos for our members group also. All right, let's say hello to everybody. Hello, Pat. Yes, we're going to get to that question about past life regression, and I don't think it's what you expect, but who knows? And what else do we have here? Hi, Z. How are you? And Sherry, good to see you. Oh, yeah. So in the reincarnation video, right? The reincarnation video went out to members first. So you guys get to see it first, and it's usually you guys who inspire the topics for those videos, and then it gets released as a public video. Probably, I think it's tomorrow. And Pat, good to see you. Happy Monday. Sharon, yeah, I know. I just love Mondays. I love hanging out with you guys. It's just so much. It's so enjoyable. Even though the topics can sometimes get dense, I just love hanging out with you guys. Z, miss pockets so much it hurts. Yep, I get it. I know. I totally get it. And we're here for you. We are so here for you. Donna, hello, hello. And Cheryl, good to see you as well. Barbados is your soul home. Yeah, right? Like we all have a place that we're drawn to for whatever reason. It has been always the Rocky Mountains for me. And who have I missed? Who's on that is not Jody? All right, good to see you as well. All right, I think I've got everybody, and I'll just say hello as more people jump on. We're going to be talking about the topic of reincarnation. So I just check off my little notes here that I did our housekeeping about the Zoom. We did the reincarnation video, headed to Denver. I can't wait to share with you guys. And I can't wait to share with you guys like how much fun I think it's going to be just a road trip and just to hang out in my van with the dog and go different places and meet new people and meet new animals. Okay, so how do we communicate with our pets once they've crossed over? One of the biggest secrets, and we're going to talk about a couple different things tonight. And I have dog hair. I have a couple different exercises for you guys too. I have one that is more of a guided visualization, and I know that's not everybody's cup of tea. And Pat pointed out a couple weeks ago, thank you so much, Pat, that a couple of the practical exercises work really well, like the one with the glass, where we had two different glasses, and you poured the water from your current state into your intention for the new state, and then you drank the water. We're going to talk more about water too. I am going to get there, I promise. So I have a blend tonight. I have a guided visualization that I can share with you to help you receive information from animal companions on the other side. It's all tied together. And then also a practical way to receive that information. Because the question that came up, the question is not only what is reincarnation, how does it work, how do I know if my animal is reincarnating, but if my animal companion has reincarnated, how can the question was, how can an animal communicator then talk to that animal and their soul? And what if the animal doesn't remember? Because what we're taught from people who don't know any more than I do, what we're taught about reincarnation is that you don't have any memory of a past life. So if you're, we'll go with Jack. Let's just say Jack reincarnated and he comes back to planet Earth in his new form. He has no memory that he's Jack. How does he find his way to me? And how do I know who he is? That was the crux of the question. So the person then said, I could reach out to an animal communicator who says that she's already sensing that, I'm still going to say Jack. It wasn't Jack, though. It was Buckley. The animal communicator saying, Buckley's already back. Well, if Buckley's already back, how can their soul still be on the other side? So it can be mind bending, but I'm going to try to clear that up for you tonight, because we are too tied to these earthly rules, these human invented rules that don't exist. There are no rules. I am the exception. That's what I want you to start saying. I am the exception to every rule. I stole that. It was Steve Jobs, I'm pretty sure. I am the exception to every rule. So let me check some comments real quick. Cheryl, practice those sounds. Oh, thank you for saying about the sounds. I want to share something with you. I won't forget about the sounds and the bee sound. Okay, so remember last week we talked about sound, and there's so much more for me to share about sound. I am taking a sound class. I'm taking a sound class so that I can better share with you how we can use more about vibration and frequency, but specifically singing bowls and tuning forks, and how we can use them to create a vibration that not only allows us to connect with our animal companions and other souls, but is also very healing. So I will share more about that, but I won't share it until I know more about it, which is where the bumblebee breath. If you remember the bumblebee breath from last week, I looked up a little demonstration about how to do the bumblebee breath. And I still can't pronounce the name. It's a form of pranayama, which is a yogic term, so in yoga. But I'm just going to do it for you real quick. You take your thumbs and you put your thumbs on your ears so that you're closing your ears. And then you take these two fingers and you close your eyes with your two fingers. And then you just let these two fingers rest, kind of like that. And then as you're doing this, who's ever catching, like if anybody like logs onto this video at just this moment in time, I have no shame. You just go like this. You're closing your ears. So I'm pressing my ear, that little flap over my ears. I'm closing that. And I'm going to do this. So you're making the sound of a bee. Like it, even to me in my head, it sounds like the sound of a bee. And that vibration, that frequency of the bumblebee is the one that is, it opens up your third eye. It connects you to source. So it's if you're self-conscious, unlike me, and you want to go into a closet or a bathroom or your car and practice it, or out in the woods somewhere where nobody's watching you, I would recommend that you give it a try, because it's actually right now I can feel that vibration still going through my whole body. Okay, I see the comments flying by. Reading a book and it talks about different sounds. Yeah, we're going to talk more about it. We are going to, excuse me, going to talk more about different sounds. And all the books that you guys recommend, by the way, I get them. I get just about all of them. I just got the crystal book. And I got this one I'm going to share with you guys is really cool. We'll talk about it a little bit later. The Oracle of Heart Wisdom book. But whatever you guys recommend, I always like to look into, because whatever intrigues you, I'm sure would be intriguing. So let's talk about reincarnation. And no, let's go back to Pat's question first about past life regression. Past life regression, if anybody's not familiar with it, that is where you would go into a hypnotic state. And in the hypnotic state, the person guiding the hypnosis would assist you in traveling backwards through time to prior lives that you may have lived. And I have become very intrigued recently with the multi-world theory, which says that there is a version of us on multiple worlds throughout the universe. So based on like a decision that we may have made, if we made a decision to go to college or not go to college, we kind of veered off. And a version of us that made one decision went one way, and a version of us that made another decision went another way. The same kind of theory applies to past lives, though. We have been through different past lives, but they're not in the past. The only place that has time is right here on Earth, or time as we know it. The only place that has time as we know it is right here on Earth, where we have 365 days a year, where we have a clock, where we have 24 hours in a day, where we monitor the minutes and the seconds, and we have the seasons are based on a clock. We do the whole thing about time. And what we remember, a memory, is the past. What we don't yet know is the future. When you do a past life regression, you are going back to access a memory from another lifetime. So you're looking for a memory from before. And that past life regression then gives you a sense of where you were. Some people have dreamt about it. Some people have a general knowing. There are more and more younger people who are young children who are being born with a memory already, and until it's going to be at some point squashed, or they're going to stop remembering it, and it's not going to be encouraged. But I will give you an example. There is someone who I know specifically whose young daughter is, I want to say she's 4 or 5. She's 4 or 5. She speaks openly about her memories. She'll say, but I remember the time when, and then she'll talk about it. And it's clearly not a time from her present life. And it's not in her family squashed. It's actually it's talked about openly. They're very interested and intrigued. So past lives are simply a different version of us in a different form. Does not have to be the same gender, not the same race, not the same anything. We could be anything at all in a different existence. I'm not going to say prior. So when we do a regression, it takes us back to memories of different lives that we might have lived, even though we're living them all at the same time, because there's no such thing as time as we think, that it's all going on exactly the same time. It's like a giant thing that's, if you imagine a giant control room and the universe is there controlling everything. But can you imagine for a bazillion people over a bazillion years? So that is past life regression. And I also said past and future. Future regression is where you would do the same type of hypnosis, but instead of going in for a memory from the past to help you remember a past life, you are searching for a memory of the future. And since it's all together and there's no past, present, or future, it's all like right in this way, you're searching for a memory of the future, and you can have the same kind of memory. You can have that same kind of regression. To learn more about that, I enjoy listening to Dolores Cannon. Dolores Cannon, she talks about a lot of different things, including connecting with aliens, but she talks about past and future regression. She has some really good guided visualizations to help with that. So if you'd like to learn a little bit more about that, Dolores Cannon, she is on the other side at this point, but she wasn't. She taught actively up until not recently, but not in the far distant past. So that's someone that you might want to check out for more information about that. Now, to go further down that rabbit hole, probably the reason why we want to know about past life regression is because we want to know which animals were with us. We want to know which animals shared our space. And was Jack with me 100 years ago? Was Jack with me 1,000 years ago? Was Jack a wolf when I was a cave person? Those are the kinds of things that we're looking to explore. And maybe we can look a little bit deeper into that for any of my channel members who might want to talk about that on our Zoom. Okay, let's see if any questions came up about that. Mind blowing, yeah, Z. And after this life, we will be unburdened. We will certainly be unburdened. That's the other reason why we're looking for relief. We're looking to get a feeling that, oh, if Jack's been with me for 1,000 years, what am I worried about? I know that he's still going to be with me going forward, so we're not worried about it. And it gives us a relief. It lets us let go of that desperation that we're never going to see them again, when in fact we are. They're part of our life. So yes, that is also where it comes from. I was in the drive-through and the car's tag in front of me said 618444. Your grandmother's birthday. Oh, always on the clocks, and the 44444. Yeah, angel numbers. I'm always tied to angel numbers, and they're everywhere. I see them everywhere, every single day, everywhere, because I ask to see them. Okay, let's get on to the topic of reincarnation and communicating telepathically. That's the other piece I wanted to say besides reincarnation. It's telepathic communication, and it's all directly tied together, because if we can telepathically communicate with our animals on the other side of life, then whether or not they reincarnate is not relevant, because we are accessing a whole different kind of information than what we're used to. We're not listening for voices, we are listening for thoughts. And I think I have a pretty good way of explaining this. So telepathic communication is where I really want to take this. How do we communicate with our pets once they have crossed over? So I want you to think about, I want you to think about transmitting both give and take thoughts, feelings, images, not necessarily voices and words. A lot of it can be very subtle. A lot of it can be subtle, and I have some suggestions for how you might understand that. The rules of physical communication don't apply. It doesn't apply. So I taught communication for years. I taught it in college. I taught it in business classes. I was a communications major, and we taught about a sender, a message, a receiver, the noise that's in between. A lot of that does still apply, because much of what prevents us from hearing the thought, so getting the thought in our mind, meaning we have received a thought from somewhere, and instead of hearing it, it gets lost in all of the chatter that's always going on in our mind. Think about when you enter a busy room or you're in a busy place. And have you ever said this? I know I have. Like, can everybody just be quiet for a minute so I can think? Everybody just quiet. And then as soon as the roar dies down, then I can think. It's the same kind of thing. We have so much internal chatter going on in our mind, the monkey mind, the chatterbox, whatever you want to call that voice that's always going on. Right now, I know it. I know every single one of you has some other thought going on in their mind besides what we're talking about on the video. Even me, just now, I heard a door open in the other room. I heard a door open and close, and it makes me wonder, okay, where's somebody going? So right away, our mind is always thinking. I stress how important it would be to meditate. Meditation is a wonderful way to quiet our mind. We need a quiet mind because we can't hear through the chatter of a cluttered mind. So we want to quiet our mind. And people will often say to me, I can't meditate. As soon as I go to meditate, other thoughts are always intruding. I can't stop my mind from thinking. I have been there. I promised. I used to lay down. I used to put in my earphones, total quiet. I would put on a sleep mask. I still do that, but I would lay down, and the only thing that would go through my mind is all of the BS that was going on in my life. Every single problem for which I had yet to find a solution was just replaying over and over and over again in my mind, and I couldn't shut it off. It takes consistent practice. It takes practice, practice, practice. Only you guys have a secret weapon because your animal companions want to connect with you. They want to communicate with you, so they will help you. When I focus just on Lucy's a good one. She's a great example. When I focus just on Lucy and I say to myself, but I'm saying it to her, the next 10 minutes, nothing matters but you. Lucy, you are all that matters to me right now. Share with me whatever it is you want to share. Tell me what you'd like me to know. Tell me what you want to talk about. And then sometimes I'll just say, I just want you to know I love you. I've always loved you. And I will sometimes apologize, like for things that I think I should have done, could have done, would have done differently. And she just, none of that computes for them, by the way. She just kind of, I feel this sense like she's a mother who is patiently guiding her child through learning all of this. But that it just takes practice, and you're going to have to do it consistently every single day. And the key to meditation is actually not the length of time that you spend doing it. It is the frequency that you do it. So the more, if you could make it a daily habit, it is better to meditate for 3 to 5 minutes every single morning than for 20 minutes 3 times a week, because your brain gets into a new habit and a new practice. And the next thing you know, it's something that you will not only be able to do, you'll want to do it, because you'll know that you'll be able to connect with your animal companion on the other side, and you'll be wanting to do it. Meditation is not something I've talked a lot about in these live streams. I haven't ever given any real instructions in it, so that might be a topic for a future one. But I know that for many people watching this, whether it's tomorrow or 10 years from now, that you want some assistance right now. Like, you need some practical help right now. You don't have you don't have the emotional bandwidth to start doing a daily meditation until you first get a grip on some of the emotions going through your heart. So that's kind of why we focus on the things that we do here. Quick check of the comments. I heard Pocket's name. There you go. In your ear. I don't dismiss or discount any of that. When you hear things that you know are right, write them down. Write them all down so that you don't discount them. Timings of things. Oh, good. Yep, Sharon. Yep. Don't dismiss it. That's exactly right. Interesting 3-minute meditation. A 3-minute meditation you can handle. There you go. Then just do it for 3 minutes. It's completely fine. There is nothing. Again, it's the time thing. If you can connect instantly, then you go ahead and do it. Even if you can't, 3 minutes every single day is something that it's something that most people can manage. You can find, ideally, I think like the sweet spot is about 12 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes, because it gives you a few minutes to get into the practice. It gives you a few minutes to let your mind quiet down, and then it gives you a few minutes to really spend connecting, whether it's with source or your animal companion or an ancestor, whoever it is that you want to connect with. So I think like a 12-minute meditation is the perfect sweet spot, but everybody finds their own. I want to talk about, I started to mention this last time, this video that I watched with Deepak Chopra. I'm watching podcasts all the time, and I love when I watch podcasts, and even the person who's, usually it's somebody who's got a million viewers, says, I was watching a podcast. So we all are still learning. We are all just walking each other home, right? We are all still learning, and we share what we learn. So I loved this interview that I saw with Deepak Chopra. And Deepak Chopra is one of the OGs of the spirituality world. And he was explaining the multi-world theory, which is a topic really for another day, but about this whole multi-world theory and how the supposition, because nobody really knows, the supposition is that there are multiple worlds, and the scientific community is attempting to prove that that is the case. But he also, more than that, about for tonight's conversation, he calls it non-local consciousness. And I think that I don't have that name right. Non-local, though, is the important part of the term. Non-local communication. That's it. Non-local communication. And the point is that consciousness is really our soul. Our soul is our conscious awareness. And if you can start every single day catching more and more moments of time when you are consciously aware of yourself. So instead of being on autopilot, as many of us spend our entire day just going through the routine in default mode, autopilot, that's the best way to describe it. Instead, make every effort you can to find moments to be conscious. And when you find yourself, so when you're behind the wheel of the car and all of a sudden you end up at work and you have no idea how you got there, that's autopilot. That is our default mode. Or at the end of the day, when you lie down in bed and you realize that you barely allowed yourself to enjoy some of the moments of the day, that you were just going about your normal routine, that's autopilot. And we want to kind of get out of that default mode. And part of getting out of the default mode, this is just a little bit of an aside, is when you go to sleep at night, don't ruminate over all the crap that went on all day long. It's done. It's over. And even if there is something that's going to continue on to the next day, there's nothing you can do about it as your head hits the pillow. So instead of ruminating about it, that's a good time to start practicing your meditation. But Deepak Chopra, non-local communication is as opposed to the word telepathy. Telepathy takes me back to like the 70s when there was this TV show called The Sixth Sense. And it was about a guy who could not only talk to the dead, but he had telepathy and all the other ESP things. It was all about ESP, as a matter of fact. And telepathy has the word itself has a lot of baggage attached to it. We don't think of it as something that is real or something that is possible for us. So if we can kind of reframe the way we think about telepathy would mean, I put my hands to my head and I concentrate and I can reach out to Pat and I can read Pat's mind. Not really. I mean, I don't think so, Pat. I'm not getting anything. So in case you were wondering if I was reading your mind, but non-local communication is being able to access thought. So I am able to communicate, in particular for me, just for whatever reason, my little gift, I don't even like to call it a gift because we are all capable of it, but the way that I am able to connect with animals seems to be something that comes naturally to me. And being able to connect with them on the other side. So for me, I've set aside all doubt and all worries, no fear, there's nothing that holds me back from accessing those thoughts. I believe in it fully. It has unconditional belief is what I have in that. So what I can do then is quiet my mind, and I am connecting with thoughts from my beautiful animal companion. And you guys can ask questions, by the way. Whatever questions come up, like if I'm not explaining it clearly enough and you want to ask more questions over in the comments, go ahead and ask those questions. And I'll get back to the Suzanne Giesemann thing in a minute, Pat. Where was I? So I quiet my mind and I access the thoughts. So when you think a thought, we're going to do an exercise in just a minute. When you think something, where does that thought come from? There's no little box inside your brain that has all these limited number of thoughts and the box pops open and out comes the thought. The thoughts are out there in the energetic field. So whether you call it the quantum field, the field of infinite potential, the energetic field, the whatever you want to call it, it is everything that fills all the space around us. And we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. If you think about every cell phone call that is going on right now, where are those voices? Where are they? You can hear it on your phone, but you can't look behind my computer and see the newscaster. You can't. It's in its energetic vibration, and that's where all of that is. Every single thought is also there. So we are accessing thoughts and we are sending out thoughts all the time. And we need to, just as we would have a conversation on a cell phone, or if I was having a conversation, if I turned on my Zoom and Sharon and I were going to have a one-to-one conversation, when we have that conversation, everything else is excluded. So there's not like a party line. If anybody remembers what party lines were, there's no party lines where other people could jump on the call. It's her and I, and we are focused on the conversation. And it's a form of non-local communication. Even though Sharon and I may be looking at each other on a Zoom call, we're not even close to each other. So that is non-local communication. When we just set aside the Zoom, I want to talk to Winston. I want to receive a message from my Winston. I will quiet my mind. I let everything else fade away as if I was picking up a cell phone and dialing a number that said Winston. And I am speaking to Winston through my mind. I am sending out thoughts and I am receiving thoughts. And he and I are having communication. And we're going to talk about how you know what those thoughts are in just a minute. And that is non-local communication. And we are having non-local communication right now. Except for the fact that I've seen a lot of you on a Zoom call, I would have no idea who you are, yet we are exchanging information back and forth. So I want you to do this exercise with me to see if you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. I want to make sure I'm not jumping ahead, and I want to just quick check the comments. Guided meditation and the H factor. H factor is just aligning our energy centers. But to sit with self is a no. Okay, that's okay. We can talk more about that. Suzanne Giesman helped me meditate. She says, ask a question to your loved one and just listen for the answer. Pat, that is 100% correct. Suzanne Giesman is one of my personal teachers. So she's one of the people who I practice with. Her, and Lee Harris is the other one, who I practiced with to develop some of the skills that I recognized that I had, but I didn't know what to do with or how to do it. Suzanne Giesman, I know that some people don't care for her style because she's a channel, so she will access information from, I believe her angels are called Sanaya, the souls that she connects with on the other side. I love all that stuff too, but some people don't care for it. So where was I before I said that? The field of consciousness contains all the information. Oh, that all you have to do is ask a question and think. That is exactly right. It's as simple as that. We overcomplicate everything. We're waiting for neon signs. We're waiting for tables to rise, tambourines to shake. It's an easy conversation. When we say, I am taking this time right now, I'm dead, all else aside, me and my animal companion are going to have a conversation. I can either share information, like I can just say, I love you, I miss you, I wish that I could still feel your furry neck, or I can ask a question, like, or I always start with gratitude. I always say thank you for being such a beautiful part of my life, and for Lucy always for inspiring this. I start out saying thank you, and I always end saying thank you. But then you ask a question, and the first thought that pops into your mind, it doesn't just pop into your mind. Like I said, there's no little box in there. That it flows into your mind from the field of consciousness, where everything is and every thought is. You are simply focusing on the thought that is the conversation between you and your animal companion, or you and your father, or you and a distant relative, or you and whoever, you and Einstein. It can be anything. You focus your attention on that person. I sometimes say that it's easier. I don't have anything here by me now. I sometimes say it's easier if I have a picture, or if I'm holding one of their little clay paws, or I have a little bit of fur from all of my different animals. Sometimes that's easier if I have that physical connection, but it's me who needs that. They don't need it. And it's a simple thing to ask a question and then trust that you're receiving the answer. So disbelief, doubt, expecting the communication to be something dramatic. It can be so simple. It can just be a simple feeling of relief. And then not recognizing that subtle emotions, memories, nudges, it's all a form of communication. So quiet, open, trusting mind. Let's do a little activity together. It is going to be, hi, Mike, how are you? Yes, Sanaya, thank you, Sharon. See Jen Rodriguez comment. Let me scroll back to Jen Rodriguez. I can't seem to connect with my pet on the other side. Okay, Jen, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about right now. And it's okay. I remember when they were still on this side when I was trying to practice animal communication. This was like 10 years ago, and I sat Jack on the bed and I just stared at him. I mean, I stared at his eyes, and I'm going like I'm thinking really hard, like tell me something, tell me something, tell me anything. And Jack's like, I don't understand what's expected of me. It's okay. We have blocks. There are things that will kind of hold us back from receiving that communication, but our animal companions are endlessly patient, and they will keep on trying. And Jen, you keep following this channel or go back and watch some other videos. We have lots of tips for how you can connect with your animal companions. Thank you for pointing that out, guys. See, we have such a great community here. Thank you, Cheryl. Okay, yeah. So thank you. So this is what we're going to do. If you are near your keyboard and you can type, I'm going to ask you a question. And when you answer the question, I want you to just quickly type the answer to you. It's a one-word answer. I want you to quickly type as fast as you can, type the answer into the chat. So the question is, do you prefer cats or dogs? I'll give you a minute. Cats or dogs, guys? Cats, dogs. Okay, all right. So there we go. And if you guys are anybody who's doing this on the replay, just comment, just cats or dogs. Play with the exercise. Just do it right away. Okay, we got a lot. Can't pick. Okay, Jen, awesome. I love it. That's a good answer too. All right, so that was a question that came from me, and you immediately formed a response in your mind. So you knew what the answer was going to be. You formed the response. Now here's what I want you to do. Wait, I lost my little instructions. I want to make sure I do this step by step. Okay. So next, I want you to, now I'm not going to be able to tell if you're doing this. Only you're going to be able. Love for both. Good. Dog. But you love all animals. That's okay. That's okay. It's not about whether or not you really love cats or dogs. It's just about how you're going to be forming your answers and having a conversation with non-local communication. So the next time is I want you to say this out loud. Now, I'm not going to be able to hear you, but I'm going to give you just 5 seconds. I want you to say out loud. I'm going to ask the question again, and you're going to say it out loud immediately. So say it out loud. Do you prefer cats or dogs? I can hear you. I can't really, but I'm pretending. Okay, so that is, so you've typed it. You have spoken it. Now I want you to do one more thing. You're going to type it again. So yeah, there's you got lots of activities to do here tonight. You're going to type it again, but only after I raise my hand like this. Okay. So I am going to ask the question, and then don't do anything. You cannot say it out loud. You cannot type it in until I raise my hand. Do you prefer cats or dogs? Type it in right now. Cats or dogs? There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I kind of adapted that exercise from one that I watched Deepak Chopra do. And the whole time that you were thinking of your answer, so I was making you think of the answer without letting you type it, that whole period of time, there was nothing else in your mind but the word cat or dog. Correct me if I'm wrong. You felt anticipation. All right, Z. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like in your, that was the only thought in your mind. That is all it takes. That's all it takes to communicate with your animal companion. You hold the question in your mind, release it and let it go, and a response will come back to you. You have just shown that you are able to concentrate for at least a short period of time where nothing else mattered, just the word was in your mind. And that is the way that you can do it. So yes, yes, yes. Good, good, right. Awesome. And waiting for dogs. Donna, I'm not 100%. sure what that means, waiting for dogs, or you were just waiting to say the word dogs. So that is one exercise just to show you that you're capable of this. You're totally capable of non-local communication. And for some people, you may feel like when I did the exercise the way that he did it, I even felt like, but maybe because I meditate so frequently, I felt a connection. Like I felt like I was waiting. Even the sense of anticipation that Z said, like I felt like I was ready to receive something when I was doing this exercise myself. Okay, so let's see where else I want to go with this. All right, then so I also want to share with you the guided meditation. So we'll do this real quick. It's only going to be a short one. It's a super short one. And then we're going to do the practical one. And this is the one where I said, if you read any of I didn't get a chance to post it in the community tab. I just sent it out in the newsletter. If you have some paper and a pen, we can write some things on a card. You're not going to need to do it if you don't want to. You can do this activity at another time, but it's a very practical activity for how you get your messages from the other side. So if you were going to do a guided visualization for non-local communication, it's where somebody is speaking words for you, and you can do it for yourself. You can either listen to a guided visualization or you can just do it yourself. So there are times when I will just, if I want a message from Lucy and I feel like I'm not at my best, or I feel like I'm not feeling the quiet in my mind that I normally do, I'll take myself on a guided visualization. I like to just breathe. I focus on my breath. I know just breathing is enough to bring myself into alignment. And then I love to visualize this little bridge. It just works for me. I visualize that in my heart, that a bridge starts there, and this bridge just kind of springs out over instantly. See, I'm already there. This little bridge springs from my heart and it goes over this little creek, and I can see the trees on either side, and it's a stone bridge. And on the other side of the stone bridge is Lucy right now. Lucy and Jack both. I can just see them so easily. As soon as I visualize that, I see them on the other side of the bridge, and we meet halfway. We kind of hang out in the middle, and Jack jumps up and he's leaning on the bridge like this. And I can ask them anything then, because it helps me just tune everything else out. So you guys could do that just as easily as well. So this is how I would do it. And you can do it with me right now if you'd like to. And I would grab a pen and paper so that you can write down if you receive anything, if you receive any information. It's super easy, super quick. We are very focused right now. Just think about this. You are focused right now. There is nothing else that matters except making a connection with your animal companion and receiving a piece of information. We're going to ask for a very specific piece of information and see what they say to us. This is just the natural extension. That's the other thing I want to point out. When we are connecting with our animals on the other side, it's natural. It's a natural extension of everything that we used to have when they were in their physical bodies. Only now they're much more capable of communicating back to us. There were times when I could just look at Winston. I would look at Winston and, what, buddy? What? Just tell me what it is that you want. I could tell that he wanted something, but I couldn't tell what it was. And now they're so much more capable of sharing that information with us. So the bond continues after the physical world. Okay, so the little thought experiment is what I call this. Instead of a guided visualization, think of it as a thought experiment. And it goes like this. You relax. Just relax. Whatever chair you're sitting in. Now, if you're driving, I always have to say this. Isn't that funny that we have to say this? If you're driving or operating heavy machinery, please don't close your eyes and please pay attention to the road. Find a place where it's quiet and comfortable. And if you're already there, just sit in your chair and let your chair or your sofa or your bed or the floor, let it do all the work for you. Let it hold you up. You're just sitting there nice and comfortable. And if you're in a space where it's safe to do so, please close your eyes. Just go ahead and close your eyes right now. Close your eyes and take a nice, deep, slow breath. So you're breathing in nice and deep. Breathe in that beautiful fresh air. And when you exhale, just let the tension flow from your body. We tend to sit, we don't even recognize when we clench our jaw, when our shoulders are hunched, when we're squeezing our fingers or our toes. We don't even recognize. So with each breath, breathe in calming energy and let your body relax. Just let your body get nice and easy and comfortable. Letting the chair hold you up, let your tummy hang out. Who cares? Just relax. And now I want you to visualize just a scene, something that is serene, an open space. It's going to be different for everybody. Would you like to be in a meadow? Would you like to be on the beach? Would you like to be in a mountain? Would you like to hear running water? Whatever it is that is peaceful for you, put yourself there right now. And that setting, that serene setting that you're creating, it's representing the field of consciousness. You are creating a visual of a field that you can only imagine. So this beautiful field of consciousness that flows around us, when we say the quantum field, the field of all potential, the field of consciousness, the infinite field, we can't picture it. And so we create a place, create a soft, peaceful place, and that is the field. This is where our communication occurs. So in your space, wherever you are, that beautiful, peaceful space, invite just a gentle invitation. Invite your animal companion to join you. Just ask them to come be with you, heart to heart, sitting together, and be open to whatever sensations, images, thoughts, whatever comes into your mind. That is the communication you are receiving. It can be subtle thoughts, feelings, images. It probably won't be an audible voice, although some people may hear a purr or a bark. These impressions, your pet is communicating in a language that is far beyond words. And when we can learn to access that language, to understand that language, to interpret what they're trying to say, and then we can share as any message we want to share. We can silently share our feelings. We can make this a two-way exchange. We can just gently let our heart fill with love and let them feel that love. That's all we need when it comes to communicating with our animal companions on the other side. And when we start getting that level of communication, when we focus on those subtle feelings and thoughts, impressions, then we become more open to receiving more involved, more complicated, more informative, more complex thoughts from our beautiful animal companions. And that's when the exchange of information can be more fulfilling, because not only then do we know that they still love and support us, but we know that they are not just with us, but they are supporting us, guiding us. They become part of our spiritual team, part of the team that is there to help us live our best possible life. And that's it. When you feel ready, I want you to say thank you. Just feel that gratitude for letting them come hang out with you for a couple of minutes. Feel it, foster it, and then slowly just bring your awareness back. You can start to move if you want to. You can wiggle your fingers, roll your shoulders, wiggle your toes, stretch. It's only been a couple of minutes. And then just bring yourself back to the present conversation. And then if you'd like to, if anybody wants to share anything, I would love to know if there was anything specific that came through to you that you'd like to share, but only if you're comfortable doing so. Pat, tears came to your eyes. That is a beautiful communication. I know when I feel chills, sometimes I feel chills from head to toe. When I feel chills, I get sometimes a pressure sensation. I can't quite describe it. Or when I cry. I know that that's my body saying, we're getting a message, we're talking, we're so connected with our beautiful animal companions. You were fine up until you said, invite them into the space, and down came my tears, which is that's them. That's the depth of your love. And yeah, we probably shed a couple of tears tonight, but I always keep my tissues handy for these videos. Okay. So that was one way that you can do it. And you can either come back and listen to like this portion of the video. It was like, what, at 45 minutes, something like that. Come back and listen to that portion of the video and hear it again. Or I've got a couple others, short ones out there that you could do, or you just do it for yourself. You just create the bridge. Or I love to create a meadow and a tree, and I imagine myself sitting under the tree, and over trots Lucy or Jack or Winston or Jake. And I love to do the pond. The pond is where I create a pond, and I sit on one side of the pond, and they sit on the other side of the pond. And then you can visualize whatever. Sometimes I visualize that my words go into the water and they drink the water, and then they put their words in the water and it comes back to me. I scoop the water up, and you can do anything. There's no rules. You can do what you make the space to access the field of consciousness that is, if you're not just in it, you are it. You're creating a physical imagery that allows you to access the field of all thought and the field of consciousness. Okay. Questions? Oh, there we go. Hey, you're the reason why we remind me though, Astro Bubbers, Diane or Diana. I will you're the reason why we're doing this live stream tonight. Okay. I keep saying that. Oh, okay. Ticks, right? The little things that you say, and. There used to be a video of hockey players, and they would say, how many times did they say and? Let's do our next experiment. This is a more practical one. So this little experiment is more practical. Diana, okay, cool. Luke and Yoda. I'm guessing those are doggies or kitty cats. I'll have to go back and see which one Pat said she preferred. Dogs. The next one is a more practical one. And this is when we don't trust. I love to do those guided visualizations. What did I call it? Not a guided visualization. I can't even remember. Oh, thought experiment. I love to do those little thought experiments because they get us to a real comfy place, a real calm place, a peaceful place. And it's mostly about those subtle feelings. But now you can actually get messages. So this is what I did. What you would need to do if you want to do this, it's a blend of classical telepathy and oracle cards and accessing the field. It comes together in one short little exercise. So what I did was I just took a piece of paper. You can use Post-it notes if you want. I used to have a bazillion Post-it notes. I don't know where they all got to. You can use Post-it notes. You could use index cards. I just cut up a piece of paper into little small squares, and I wrote things on these little pieces of paper that I think my pets would share with me. And then where's the blank one? Then I left one blank. So I wrote things like, it's okay to heal. Oh, it's hard to see with light. It's okay to heal. Listen with your heart. Love is the answer. Today I'll send you another sign. So I wrote like 10 of them. I wrote like, don't be angry, stop worrying, unconditional forgiveness, play more, I'm still with you. And then one is blank. And you're going to use them kind of just like oracle cards. So you would get yourself into a place where, so you just take a pen and a marker and you write things that you think your animal companion might say to you. If you had questions to ask your animal companion, what are some of the answers that they would give you? I'm not in any pain anymore, they might say, or I'm free, I'm running free and playing. Whatever you think, but you want to write, I would write 10 or 12 of them, which is what I have here. And then I do have one that is blank. So these are your message cards. So you mix the cards up, got them all mixed up. So I'm just mixing them up. And I set an intention. And it's the same thing as when I asked you the question, do you prefer cats or dogs? You are focusing, and that allowed you to focus. Straightforward. That allowed you to focus. Everything went out of your mind except hanging on to that word, cat or dog. So you're going to set the intention that you would like to connect with your animal companion. You hold a clear, loving intention. And this is something, this is a sample of something you might say. Show me the message you most want me to receive now. Show me the message. Please show me the message you most want me to receive now. And then just like with oracle cards, it's like your own little deck of oracle cards, only you wrote them. You would pick out one of the things that you're going to read, and then you read it to yourself. I am still with you. That's the one that came out with this one. I am still with you. So you can do this for, you can do it as many times as you want, but I always like to do it with focusing on my breath. Now, Shari or Charles, I can't remember which one, brought up something I call the H factor, I teach this in the psychic development class, the H factor. And I might have mentioned it last week, where we align our head or our brain, our heart, and our hara, H-A-R-A. It's the Japanese word for your core. So that's what we refer to as the sacral and root chakras down here. So we have our head, our heart, and our hara. And when we focus on our breath and breathing in and out, we just visualize or picture or feel that the air coming in and out of our lungs is in a beautiful straight line, that everything else, all the clutter has set itself aside. We are balanced, aligned, and grounded. And that's what I call the H factor, because it's head, heart, hara, all begin with an H. So you do that with 2 or 3 breaths. You get yourself centered, you get yourself grounded. Think of cat or dog if that helps you, because sometimes it does help to have a thing like a snap of a rubber band, or you snap your fingers, a reminder that this is the moment now that's just us and nothing else. And I've set the reminder. So cat, dog, it means nothing else is important to us. And then don't think about it. Don't overthink it. Just feel it. Feel whatever comes to you and know that you are going to receive this card. Now, I like the blank one, because if you pull the blank one, then you have to write down whatever thought comes into your mind instead of forcing yourself, or maybe that's what it is. Instead of forcing yourself to practice automatic writing, you just have to write one little thought. So you ask your animal companion after you've done your little H factor and you're nice and grounded and feeling centered, and you say, please show me the message you want me to receive right now. And it's not one of the things that you've already pre-written. So you pull the blank and you're like, oh. So you instantly write down whatever came through your mind. I don't care what it is. If it's a smell, a sound, a color, a thought, a feeling, you write it right down on that blank piece of paper. And it can be as simple as, and you don't have to guess, because it's going to be instantaneous. You don't have to guess because you've already written these things out, or you're going to write the first thing down that comes to your mind. But you may want to write down things that you also notice. So did you cry? Did you feel chills? Did you get a sensation of a breeze blowing by you? Was there a temperature change in the room? Anything like that? Or Sharon, right? Did you see an orb? Write down. I would jot that down if that's the kind of response that you received. Some people have I felt this myself, like a magnetic pull, that's the only word I can think of, like they're actually like pulling me closer. And I may not know what it means at that moment in time, but I write it down as trusting that I've received a communication from my animal companion on the other side. So it's more so for Jen, who thinks that, as we all have, that she has not been able to receive a message from the other side. Start with the feelings, start with the sensations. I also like to focus on my senses. Have I seen something, heard something, tasted something? Is there a funny taste in my mouth, a ringing in my ears? Did my fingers start to tingle? There's any number of things that would indicate to me that I'm on the right track of receiving a communication from my animal companion. Non-local communication. We are all capable of it, and it goes far beyond our animal companions. It can be done with people here, still in the physical. You can practice this with others. So if you have a close friend or friends, or a long distance friend that is willing to practice this with you and play with this with you, I love to do it. I love to play this game. So I'd be happy to help anybody who needs that help. All right, I'm going to check questions real quick, and we're going to come back to this. I just want to make sure I think I shared everything that I had to share about those 2 exercises. All right, let's see here. I sent gratitude to my 15-year-old soul dog and thanked her for reaching my life, being in my life, reaching my life. I'm not 100% sure. And give me so many great memories. She rolled over and I scratched her belly, and she put her head in your lap. She did so as a puppy. Be open to all those possibilities, Mike. That's a beautiful way to think about it. I scratch Jack's belly all the time when he's not here. He's not physically with me. And if I want to bring him into my experience, I might be laying in bed in the evening. He's one of those dogs who love to do the whole spread eagle thing, like all the legs spread open. He just loved to have his belly scratched. And I will physically do that. I will physically do it. And it just calls him into my experience. It's a two-way thing, being able to reach out communication. We don't have to wait to receive the communication from them. We can initiate the communication, and then do it right before you're falling asleep and see what comes through in your dreams, which maybe our topic for next Monday. All right, so I see things buzzing by here. Somewhere in the community post, there is a pond meditation. The pond meditation is in the membership group. So that was only for members, but I can do a version of it for others. If anybody, like, I don't want to hold anybody back. If you are not capable of becoming a channel member, you just reach out to me, send me an email, reach out to me, and we'll figure it out for you. I did the auto writing letters from Buckley to Mom. Good. Now is the day you know I am okay. Oh, what a beautiful message from Buckley. What a beautiful message. I love those writing letters to our animal companions. That's another way to initiate the communication, not just to help your heart heal by getting some things out onto paper, but you're starting the communication. You're inviting them to communicate by being the first one to take the step. So that's a beautiful thing too. Of course, there's always stuff going on. There's always something going on, right? So come back to it. I believe in divine timing. Divine timing. And like something happened to me this weekend where I missed something that I didn't think that I wanted to miss, but I realized that for whatever reason, I am trusting the timing of this. So go back and watch a replay. Asked Daisy to give me a word. And it was mommy, okay, that she was with Terry. Awesome. That's beautiful. Oh, that's what a beautiful visual to have. Those are the kind of, if anybody's reading Michael's comments, those are the beautiful visuals that we want. Trust them. And if it makes you cry, that's okay. Tears are fine. Tears are beautiful. Tears are, they're water. They carry love in them. Our tears carry so much love. If you pick one of their toys and you feel a tingle, it's our animal. Yes, we have to trust those things. Like I don't have a collar here. What do I have? I don't have anything within close reach. I have my collars. I have all my little doggy things, and I have their toys, and I have their coats from when we had to wear coats when it was crazy blizzarding in Colorado. Yeah, all of those things will carry a memory in them, and all you have to do is touch them. And if you feel that sensation, don't discount it, because we are more than just the normal 5 senses. We're taught from the time we go to grade school. I swear this is when it happens. From the minute that we walk into first grade and the nuns hold you after school on your first day of first grade. Who does that? Had to bring up the nuns. Recovering Catholic. Anywho, that's when it starts, when we start squashing that. But where was I going with the kid feeling? Gone. Now it's totally gone. The word should have been enriching. Oh, okay. Got it. That we're taught our senses. We're taught the things that we see, sight and hearing and taste and smell and touch. It's so much more. That's why we call them the clairs, because it just means clear vision, clear sight, clear taste, clear hearing, clear. It's just using them beyond what we think we're capable of, because we are capable of so much more. The other thing I did want to share with you guys is the thing about auras, because this was also in the interview with Deepak Chopra, and again, he nailed it, just totally nailed it. If you would like to see your aura, or you would like to see an aura, we think of auras only in terms of what we have seen in the media or read in books about seeing like rainbows of colors around people, and somebody will say, oh, you're very blue today, you're very purple. I see a rainbow of colors flowing around your body. In reality, I'll tell you what I see. I see energy. I see like this hot, I call it hot white. I don't have any other word for it. I see this ring of energy that surrounds people. It surrounds living things. I see it on trees, plants. If you want to look at a mountain range or look at trees off in a distance, you let your vision kind of soften a little bit, and you'll be able to see like this line of energy along the tree line. But you can do the same thing with your hands. But maybe that's a topic for another day. Kind of got off track there. I don't know what made me think of that. You're so welcome, guys. Terry got a kiss and Daisy got a belly rub. Awesome. I love it. I love it. Today, before I started, I always sit before I start these videos, and I just kind of ground myself. I center myself. Sometimes doing all my notes and all of the meditating ahead of time, it should make me calm, but it often makes me excited. Like I get really this beautiful sense of anticipation of sharing this information with you guys. And I'll get going. Well, today, as I was sitting here, ready to go. I posted a couple little introductory comments. I felt the most enormous hug from my dad. I just felt my father hug me so clearly, and he had a certain timbre to his voice, a very deep voice, and it was very comforting before I started this. And just another form of communication was just feeling that I was getting a hug from him. Those nuns, yep, there's the nuns. Made it time for Elaine to mention the nuns. If only they knew. I am sure that most of the nuns, when I was in grade school, are on the other side now. But if anybody has been to Catholic school, you know we renamed all the nuns. So there was Sister Mary Amelia became Sister Mary Amoeba. There was Sister Buzzy, because she was a fluttering all around. Sister Buzzy, Sister Crow. I can't remember some of the other ones. They're gone. I can't remember Sister Rita. I can't remember what we nicknamed Sister Rita. But anywho, the nuns made an impression on my life, and I'm glad that they give us a laugh now. Okay. All right, guys. Me renaming the nuns. Okay. I think that's all I got for you guys for this evening. I'm just going to check my notes one more time. I do want to close with this. For everybody who might be watching this at this time or a future time, communication is going to look different for everybody. We all communicate differently. Each and every one of us here has a different style of communication and a different way that we receive information or give information that's easier than another. And so don't hold yourself to any standard other than your own. It's going to be different for every single person. And it may come later. So tonight, like when you did the visualization, if you didn't really feel anything, be open to the possibility that you might have a dream tonight, or you might get a sign tonight, or you might see something when you wake up in the morning, or remember something, or recall something. So be open to the possibility that it's going to come in many different forms. The more open you are to the possibility, the more likely you are to recognize when you have received a message or a sign or a communication from your animal companion on the other side. And you can't get it wrong. You can't get it wrong. And your animal companion has endless patience. They will never stop helping. They will never stop. They don't get impatient and tap their wrist on, sorry, if you don't do this in the next 10 minutes, I'm out of here. They are with you always because they are connected to you. They will never not be with you. Okay, don't forget, I will post more about our Zoom call for the channel members. If you're not a channel member and you'd like to be a channel member, just click the join button. Otherwise, it's at animalreikilady.com/join. And I think that's it. All right, guys, have a beautiful night. The blue light in the background showing through her hair. Oh, my glow. Oh yeah, my glow is not natural, guys. It's because I have all my pretty lights. All right, but if you see any halo, that could be me, or horns. Okay, kids, have a great week. I will see some of you on later this week, Friday and Saturday. Otherwise, I'll catch y'all next Monday. And until then, may animals light your way. Take care, everybody.